Welcome to this new Triggre Weekend Masterclass. And in this masterclass, I'm going to show you a situation where you can get to the same result using a repeat action and to that result without a repeat action. And I'm going to explain you the difference in both situations. So what we have here is, when we look at this application, is we have a list with departments, and we would like to apply a few checks on them, and then based on those checks we are going to mark them as to be manually checked additionally. So I've wrote this down here, as you can see. So there's a list with departments, the list of items that need to be checked. Check number 1 is, are there more than 1 suppliers? Check number 2 is, are there more than 1 employees? And in case both check 1 and check 2 are 0, then we mark it to be manually checked. And like I said, you can do this using a repeat action, and you can do this without a repeat action. And why is this so interesting to see? Because at a glance you might say, like, okay, it doesn't matter if it's in a repeat action or not, as long as it does the job. And that is entirely true. However, there is a difference in how Triggre processes this logic as a repeat action and without a repeat action, and that also has a consequences in how we process actions, and that will result in could result in different billing, because as you know, Triggre uses actions for the billing of subscription plans. So if we have this situation, as you can see here, let me first show you in the designer what the actual difference is. Just to show you the difference, so we have the repeat action here. And as you can see here, we're on this page when not to use a repeat action. And when I use the repeat action, we use this flow part, and I will show you the results. And here I use this flow part and show you the result. So first, I'm going to show you the flow parts so you see the differences. And after that, I am going to show you in the application what Triggre actually does and what the effect is on the number of actions that will be used. So let's go to the flow parts and look for this repeat action. And let's start with the flow part where you do use a repeat action. So in this case, we have a lookup with the list of departments to check. It has its own filter. So we have the department, and it hasn't been checked yet. That's the filter that we apply to it. So only departments that haven't been checked yet. And then we go through each department, and we do that in a repeat action where we state, well, first we're going to count the employees. If the number of employees is 0, we count the suppliers, and when the suppliers are 0 as well, we are going to mark them as a manual checked item. In all the other cases, as you can see here, false goes right to the end, so we do nothing. Well, this will work perfectly, no problem at all. But you also can do it in a different way. So if I would go to the no repeat flow part, you can see that we only have a lookup and an edit action. And if we look at the lookup a little bit more closer, you can see that I've added all the separate filters that we created in the repeat action flow part, incorporated it in the initial lookup. So what I do is I add a count items in list function to determine the employee users of that department, where it should be 0. And the same goes for the count items in list of supplier. I'm going to create the same one again to show you how that looks, because you could state like and, because you need a function to do this. So a function, and I would like to count items, and I can count items in the department property. So if I open department, you can see that there are 2 references as a list, which is the employee user and the supplier. And if I would select this, it would count all the suppliers linked to this department. So we get a list out of this, and the only thing that we do is we update it with that it needs to be checked manually. That's the only thing we do. They all get the same setting. So let's get back to the application, because if I would use a repeat action and if I would click it, well, let's first do the no repeat action. So if I would click it, what you see here is that we have one new department without a supplier or an employee. So as you can see here, they're both 0 and it needs a manual check. And what does Triggre do when I click that button? So Triggre only does 2 things, and it only costs you 2 actions, because we do a lookup action and we do an edit action. And if I would explain you this in time as well, you could state that, starting the flow part will take 0.1 second, the lookup will take 0.1 second, the edit action will take 0.1 second, and ending the flow part will take 0.1 second as well. If I would add that up, Triggre would be busy for 0.4 seconds to get to the result where we are. So let's go and check out what this all looks like when you would use a repeat action. And like I said, the end result will be the same regarding the records that you will retrieve. The difference is the actions that you use. So if I use a repeat action, what Triggre actually does is the following. We do one lookup action, that's one action. We do a repeat action, and for every repeat, which can be 1, 2, or even a gazillion, we do the following. We have a count employees action, we have a decision, we have a count suppliers action, we have a decision again, and then we edit the department, and then we're all done. But it does that for every department that it checks. So in a technical way, it would look like this, including time. So we start the flow part, it will take 0.1 second, just like the other one. We do the lookup, same 0.1 second, just like the previous one. But then we get into the repeat action. So what we do is Department 1, count number of employees, 0.1 second. Department 1, the decision regarding the employees, 0.1 second. Well, etc., etc. And the same we do for department number 2, department number 3, department number 4, and in this case we have, I think, 5 departments, so also for department number 5. Then we end the flow part, and in total we spent 2.8 seconds. So although we have exactly the same end result, when you use a repeat action, it will take 2.8 seconds with 21 actions, and without using a repeat action, it would take only 0.4 seconds and 2 actions. So major difference in how things work. It doesn't work in every situation, but in this particular case, and you probably can find a lot more, it works like this, and it can be really handy to do it without a repeat action. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel. Till next week!